Hey guys, I hope that you've had a great PoE2 League launch, and I know I have, and I figured I'd share some things. Just to start off, this is recorded on Xbox, so prepare for like 1 minute increments for stuff, and I'll show you a preview first, and then we'll get into the actual build. Now I'm playing Spark Totems, and I started just playing Spark, and I used like Unleash support, and then transitioned into like the Ancestral Bond Keystone that was changed this league, and I've just been running ever since. One of the things you might notice is that I'm not really that tanky, and I'm just dropping totems and running. That's because the totems themselves actually aggro, and creates kind of like a little bit of a safety net, and also I'm running fire gloves that give me the ability to electrocute enemies, which also stuns them essentially, and it's just been great. One thing that I have to say is that if you're actually going to play this build, you might want to transition into totems later than I did. I did as soon as I got Spell Totem and Spark together, and the Ancestral Bond Keystone, which I think was like around level 25, 26, maybe a little bit after that. I do know that I probably wouldn't be able to make that transition as early if I wasn't playing the Shaman class, because the extra spirit you get off of your first ascendancy is huge. We'll go over things more in detail, but the basic setup is 6 totems, Flame Wall, then I drop a Thunderstorm, and I Curse. And that's it. Now, I'm only level 81 in this clip, and I think that when I'm like level 95-ish, I'll probably have around double the damage I do right now, if not more. The boss thing has been really nice, but there is a little bit of a ramp time on it, just the way Spark works, as it keeps bouncing around and can hit the same target multiple times, but it's kind of based on a timer. We'll go over that later. But for now, make a quick work of them, electrocute them, and he didn't even phase. Now, I'm only in tier 10 maps, that's as far as I've gone so far, so I'm excited to go further. So I'm pretty no nonsense about things, so we're going to get into like gem links first. The spell totem costs mana, but the spark doesn't, so you can get really high levels on that, and you don't need to like put jeweler's orbs in that either. You do want these supports, and I think they're the best. And then, like I said, flame wall, you want to reduce the cost as much as possible. We're actually using the thunderstorm as a crit setup, and I'll explain that later. Then the curse stuff, just your standard curse cost bonuses. Mana remnants is how we are able to cast so often, and archmage is our damage. We're also running a lot of extra aura stuff. Now our build, as I said, pretty squishy, not much sustain, but we are able to get quite a bit of spirit. At this stage we're just a little bulky by stacking life, mana, and energy shield as our effective health pool. Now to get almost 500 spirit this early, we're using a few different things, but our chest piece with that new rune that gives you a bunch of spirit, then we're using it from our amulet, our scepter, and of course we're not using any charms as I mentioned before to get bonuses from our ascendancy. Speaking of our ascendancy, one of the things I saw people not really talk about was the bonded keystone for runes being really impactful by giving us meta skills efficiency. And that applies to the ancestral bond keystone as well as our archmage and basically most of the buffs we're going to be running. And we take that and then we go ahead and use an anointment to give us more reservation efficiency. With an amulet, and then it's 35%, and that's been great. Now, in case you didn't know how to anoint things this time around, basically from your starting area, let me move over there. So from the starting area and you go over, there's the withered willow, and that's where you go and anoint things. So for a tree itself, this is what it looks like. We're picking up like mana efficiency, pen, basic damage, mana regen to help out, and we do split off. We'll do like weapon set 1 and 2. Weapon set 1 is like our totem damage, weapon set 2 is like exposure, curses, that kind of stuff. And you can see those marked by the red lines and the green lines. 2 stats that give you really high quality of life are like totem placement speed, because otherwise totems are trash, and then skill effect duration, which makes a world of difference. I'll show you right now. Our totems actually last like almost 28 seconds. And Spark lasts 4 seconds, so you divide that at 0.66, that's how many times you can hit per second, or per cast, and then it's amazing. Now I'm taking these notes for Arcane Surge, because I think they make a difference with the Thunderstorm, with the mana regen and the cast speed, but I'm not sure if that's working 100% of the time, so I'll have to work on that. In terms of gear, I focus on spell levels, because you actually want your totem to be a higher level, and then you get more totems, which increase the limit, which is how I'm using 6 of them right now. It also makes them tankier, which I thought was important. In terms of jewels, we're using the +2 Spark Jewel, and then I got a Heart of the Well, which has been really nice to get more duration and mana cost efficiency. For our uniques, we're using this chest piece because I like it, and these gloves because electrocution is a good defensive layer, and just stacking mana, life, and res for everything else. There are probably other gloves you could use, but I just like them. I think electrocution is a great form of CC. But yeah, all together when it comes out, you saw it clears the bosses, clearing everything really fast, and I'm able to have 6 totems out, which is just good coverage and then good damage actually. Now I don't want to spoil too much, but the Atlas passive tree is huge, and I'm focusing on strong boxes and spirits just because I like them, and I'll probably do something different later. Right now everything's going really smoothly, and I haven't had any real roadblocks yet. That said, it's Sunday, so I still got the rest of tonight to play, and I'm excited to see what I can do. Go ahead and if you have any questions, ask them below in the comments. I'll answer them as I can. And if you'd like to see more, subscribe.